Negatives of positive thinking. While positive thinking can have benefits, it is important to recognize that it is not always the best approach for everyone. Here are some reasons why positive thinking can be bad for you. Ignoring negative emotions. Positive thinking can sometimes encourage people to ignore or suppress negative emotions, which can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as denial or avoidance. When people try to think positively and only focus on the positive, they may ignore or suppress negative emotions like sadness, anger, or anxiety. This can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms like denial or avoidance, which can keep people from dealing with the underlying causes of their negative emotions. Ignoring negative emotions can be harmful to one's mental health in the long run. Negative emotions suppressed can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even physical health issues such as headaches or high blood pressure. It is critical for people to recognize and validate their negative emotions, as well as find healthy ways to cope with them. This can include reaching out to loved ones for help, going to therapy, or engaging in self-care activities. Unrealistic expectations. Sometimes, positive thinking can lead people to set unrealistic expectations for themselves or others, which can result in disappointment and frustration. Yes, setting unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment and frustration. While it's important to have a positive attitude and strive for excellence, it's also important to be realistic about what can be achieved in a given situation. When we set expectations that are too high, we may be setting ourselves or others up for failure. This can lead to feelings of disappointment, frustration, and even hopelessness, which can be detrimental to our well-being and motivation. It's important to strike a balance between positive thinking and realism. By setting realistic expectations, we can maintain a positive attitude while also being practical about what can be achieved. It's also important to be flexible and adaptable in the face of unexpected challenges or obstacles. Ultimately, it's important to remember that failure is a natural part of the learning process and that setting realistic expectations can help us avoid unnecessary disappointment and frustration. Ignoring realistic risks. Positive thinking can sometimes cause people to overlook potential risks or downplay the severity of a situation, which can lead to poor decision-making and negative consequences. Positive thinking can be a powerful tool for achieving goals and overcoming obstacles, but it's important to balance it with a realistic assessment of potential risks and challenges. When people are overly optimistic and ignore realistic risks, they may be more likely to make poor decisions or take actions that can have negative consequences. For example, a business owner who is overly optimistic about the success of a new product may invest too much money in its development without adequately assessing the market demand or potential competition. It's important to adopt a balanced approach that takes into account both the potential benefits and risks of a situation. This can involve conducting a thorough risk assessment, seeking advice from experts or trusted advisors, and weighing the potential benefits and costs of different courses of action. By being realistic about potential risks and challenges, people can make more informed decisions that minimize negative consequences and maximize the chances of success. Dismissing others' experiences. If you are always focusing on positivity, you may be dismissive of others' experiences and emotions, which can damage relationships and cause isolation. If someone is always focused on positivity and dismisses the experiences and emotions of others, it can lead to a lack of empathy and understanding, and ultimately damage relationships. When people dismiss others' experiences, it can make the other person feel unheard and unsupported. This can create feelings of isolation and frustration, which can erode the foundation of a healthy relationship. It's important to acknowledge and validate the experiences and emotions of others, even if they may not align with our own positive outlook. This can involve active listening, asking open-ended questions, and expressing empathy and understanding. By taking the time to understand and validate the experiences of others, people can build stronger and more meaningful relationships, based on mutual respect and understanding. This can create a more positive and supportive environment for everyone involved. Pressure to always be positive. Sometimes, people can feel pressured to be positive all the time, which can be exhausting and unrealistic. This can lead to feelings of guilt or shame when negative emotions do arise. Yes, that's a valid concern. There can be a societal pressure to always be positive, which can be unrealistic and exhausting for many people. This pressure can come from a variety of sources, including social media, cultural expectations, and personal beliefs. When people feel like they always have to be positive, they may be less likely to acknowledge or express negative emotions, such as sadness, anger, or fear. This can lead to a sense of internal conflict, as individuals may feel guilty or ashamed for experiencing these emotions. It's important to recognize that it's natural to experience a range of emotions, both positive and negative, and that no one can be positive all the time. Instead of striving for constant positivity, it can be helpful to develop a healthy relationship with emotions, where individuals feel empowered to express and manage their feelings in a healthy and constructive way. This may involve seeking support from friends, family, or mental health professionals, practicing self-care, and developing healthy coping strategies for dealing with negative emotions. By taking a more balanced approach to emotions, individuals can reduce the pressure to always be positive and cultivate a more authentic and fulfilling life. In summary, positive thinking can be beneficial in moderation, but it is important to also acknowledge and address negative emotions and experiences. It is important to find a balance between positivity and realism in order to maintain mental and emotional well-being. Positive thinking can be a powerful tool for achieving goals and overcoming obstacles, but it's important to balance it with a realistic assessment of potential risks and challenges. It's also important to acknowledge and validate the experiences and emotions of others, even if they may not align with our own positive outlook. And finally, it's crucial to recognize that it's natural to experience a range of emotions, both positive and negative, and that finding a healthy balance between positivity and realism is key to maintaining mental and emotional well-being. That is it for today's video. Please comment down below with your insights and ideas. To learn more about business, life, and technology, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you on our next video.